Greetings, my name's Andrew Sumner. My grandfather, Pop Smythe, bought me my first comic book in Liverpool, England, when I was 3 years old, and I spent the next 50 years hurtling around the pop culture kaleidoscope, first as a fan, and then as a journalist, editor, publisher and presenter. Along the way, I met a bunch of interesting people who will be joining me here, creators, performers, professionals and public servants. We live in divisive, fractured times, but art and popular culture connect people from all viewpoints and from all walks of life. I'm often struck by the passions people enjoy, that they can set aside their differences for and agree on, whatever those passions are, whether I share them or not. And that spark, that moment of instinctive, connective agreement, that's what I call a hard agree. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Hard Agree. I'm Andrew Sumner, and a couple of weeks ago, I interviewed the legendary Ed Asner for our sister podcast, Spoiler Country. Now, Spoiler Country is presented by John Horsley and Kenrick Regan, who are my co-producers and editors here at Hard Agree. And this interview with Ed Asner was booked by Jeffrey Haas. And Jeffrey Haas, whose name I think is pronounced Haas. Now that I'm saying it, I'm realizing I'm actually saying his name out loud for the first time, but it's written H-A-A-S. Jeffrey books all of the creator interviews and actor and celebrity interviews for Spoiler Country. If you've not listened to the Spoiler Country podcast, you really have to check it out. It's a very prolific podcast where they just interview a ton of great people in the comics business, in the movie business. It's a Spoiler Country run by the Spoilerverse. And the Spoilerverse is essentially John Horsley and Kenrick Regan. And you can check out Spoiler Country anywhere where you can find good podcasts. But this is an episode that I recorded for the guys very recently. And John and Kenrick and I thought we'd present it here at Hard Agree also. Now, the thing about Ed Asner is he's been acting for 70 years. He's been on screen for 60 years. He starred in the Mary Tyler Moore Show. He starred on Lou Grant. He played Santa in Elf, and that is not the only time he's played Santa. He appeared in Up, a movie he's very proud of. He was in Roots. He was in JFK. He has never delivered a bad performance. He is also one of the least disappointing celebrities I've ever met. One of the things that Ed is famous for outside of his amazing acting work and very consistent acting work is his social conscience. He was the president of the Screen Actors Guild for 2 terms, in which he introduced a far more progressive agenda than had been the norm. He's a lifelong Democrat. He's got a lifelong dedication to humanitarian issues. And he is a very interesting, no-holds-barred, honest man. And he was everything that I thought he was going to be. And he was a total pleasure to chat with. So here right now is that chat with Ed Asner. Enjoy. Hello. How are you doing, Ed?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you. It's a real pleasure to chat with you, actually. The reason I've got the assignment is that I've been a big fan of your career for a long time. So there's a bunch of when I realized we had the opportunity to talk to you about your book, I've got a long history of watching the stuff that you're in. So I asked if I could do it. So how are you doing, Ed?
Oh, we're doing fine. We're eagerly awaiting the end of the pandemic.
Hey, me too. Yeah, I'm currently locked down in London, and that's it. That's exactly my experience as well. I was just wondering if we could start by talking about why you chose this time to write your biography.
I was being hounded by potential authors.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And I certainly matured enough. I thought, should I get off the pot now? Yeah, that makes complete sense. Could we start by talking about a few of the movies that I remember being in the 60s? There's a couple that before you hit all your success with Mary Tyler Moore and Lou Grant, I remember you very clearly in the movie El Dorado. Do you have any memories of making that? that movie?
My John Wayne movie.
Yeah, John Wayne movie, exactly. What do you remember about making that, Ed?
And Robert Mitchum.
Yeah, of course, and James Caan, right?
Jimmy Caan, yeah. It was his, I guess it was his movie debut.
So what was it like working with Wayne?
It was intimidating. You walked softly, but tried to carry a big stick to support you in case he knocked you over. And actually, after his initial attempts on the first day of filming to intimidate me, he settled down. The person who was really bugging him was the cameraman.
And what happened with the cameraman?
He had been married to, I think he had been married to Lombard or somebody like that. And Wayne doubted his efficacy, but Hawks would not be moved.
Okay, got it. In the 60s, you also acted in 2 Elvis Presley movies, right? You did Kid Galahad and you did Change of Habit.
Yeah.
So did you shoot Change of Habit before you were working on the Mary Tyler Moore Show?
That was before I started on the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yeah. So was that the first time you met Mary Tyler Moore?
No, I didn't meet her.
Oh, you didn't share any scenes with her?
No.
How did you find Elvis? How was he to work with?
The first time with Kid Galahad, he was surrounded by fellow Southerners, his gang, and he was busy breaking his hands learning karate.
Yeah.
But he was very nice and reasonable and personable. And the same thing occurred with the Change of Habit, except by then he was far more polished and smoother.
Did you enjoy working with him, Ed?
Yeah. He was very cooperative, made no problems. All stars should be that rigorous and studious.
That's very interesting to hear. And you appeared in They Call Me Mr. Tibbs with Sidney Poitier, right?
Mr. Tibbs with Sidney Poitier.
Yes. How was that experience?
That was very, very fine. He thought I should lose weight. He was very cooperative and very genteel and very nice.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. Now, when you went from you're a big hit, everybody was a big hit in the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which then became Lou Grant, and that seemed so. When you went from Mary Tyler Moore to Lou Grant, how difficult was it to go from presenting that character in a comedy format to presenting that character in a drama format?
I started off doing the hour show.
Yeah.
And very early on, I realized that the images I constantly used on the half hour of my 2 brothers, big-time spenders, that image wasn't going to work for the Lou that I had.
Yeah.
I had to find the Lou to carry my load.
Yes.
And I had to essentially dive deep into myself to find the character that I presented on the hour show.
And you were able to go to places in the hour show. What were you proudest of about the hour show? Of those 5 seasons, what do you remember the most fondly?
Well, we were the only newspaper show. We were a show that focused on the problems of the day. We handled them well. It was a good show. It dealt with problems, and it wasn't done for laughs.
No, it was an excellent show, Lou Grant. I think people are very fond of Mary Tyler Moore because of the great work that you and the cast did in that show, and that was a great comedy. But when I was at college, the show everyone loved was Lou Grant, and that's at college in England. You know, everybody loved Lou Grant. They showed it late at night, and we all loved it. And of course, you won Emmy Awards for comedy, and you won Emmy Awards for drama, and you're just about the only person, or maybe one of two people who have ever done that. How does that feel when you look back?
I don't feel any special thrill, but I'm glad that I achieved both, and it's nice to have two hats.
Of course. And how and Ed, can you remember anything about when you appeared in Roots?
Well, I resented the makeup girl. I thought she gave me a bad wig and a bad beard. But other than that, I was proud to receive the Emmy for that too.
Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely. I your performance in Roots is an indelible performance for me. It's one that I always remember. When you look back on your career since Lou Grant, it has been very varied. There's been a lot of drama, but you've made at least two movies that have a big space in everybody's hearts. What do you feel about Elf, the movie Elf, given how much love that movie receives?
I love being an Elf. I thought Favreau did a wonderful job writing and directing it. I thought Will Ferrell was the funniest man I had ever come across. Yeah. And, of course, the success of Elf is due to him.
Yeah.
I also liked doing an alternative Santa Claus to the one Edmund Gwenn had done.
In Miracle on in Miracle, yeah.
On 34th Street.
Yeah, such a great movie.
I always thought he was too sweetie pie, too cutesy. Yeah. And I like doing a Santa Claus with balls.
Yeah, which is exactly what yours was.
Yeah.
That is so true. And did you how long were you on that movie for? How long did you work on Elf for?
Elf, I don't know. I guess I was there for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. And you had some really great scenes with Will Ferrell in that movie. I thought you guys had a great connection with each other on screen.
Well, his fight with Peter Dinklage was the crowning glory.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so good. Ed, how did you come to be involved with making Up? How did you get cast in Up as Carl?
Well, it's interesting. My agent had submitted my tape for consideration as Carl. At the same time, I was doing a reading of a Holocaust piece.
Yes.
At a convention in Alameda. And my two producers on Up decided to go up and catch my performance in that to help them decide. They saw my Holocaust performance there.
Yes.
And then turned around and cast me as Carl in Up.
And how was the experience of recording the dialogue for the movie versus actually seeing the final movie? When you saw the movie in its completed form, how did you feel about it the first time that you saw it?
I was tremendously honored to be in that movie. I loved that movie. And I love being identified with that movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those movies that it's among everybody's favorite. I imagine you just get great feedback all the time about it.
I do. And it's great to have that in the diadem of my crown.
Yes, absolutely. And your career, it seems to me, has been so varied. You've done television. You've been president of the Screen Actors Guild. You've had a successful movie career. When you look back on it all, what are the things that you are most proud of?
That my IMDb is so varied.
It really is.
I like the eclecticism of it all.
Yes. And do you remember recording the character Granny Goodness for
sure.
the DC Comics animation? Can you please tell me how that came about and what that was like?
Well, I guess the first time I showed up, I was quite amazed when they gave me the directions on the character. I didn't know that it was a trans character, and it was fun to exercise myself in that direction.
Yeah. I thought you brought a lot of humor to Granny Goodness, which really fleshes out that character.
Yeah.
And you've done a lot of animation over the years, haven't you, Ed?
Yes. It's a lot of fun and gives you a chance to experiment.
And you've worked with Seth MacFarlane quite a few times, right?
I guess so. I don't know if I've ever even met him.
You just worked on his shows.
Yeah.
When you go in and record, when you record those animation appearances, do you go into this is before the pandemic, do you go into the studio? Do you record remotely?
No. I generally go into the studio. Many times it's a gangbang.
Yeah.
But there are times when I couldn't make the gangbang and they have to record me separately.
And when you look back, Ed, at some of the great co-stars that you've had, we were talking about John Wayne and Elvis before. What was your relationship with Mary Tyler Moore like?
Close.
Yeah.
She was a reserved lady. I always approached her with kid gloves, and was grateful for whatever I got from her.
And who else on the Mary Tyler Moore cast? Who did you get on well with on that cast?
Well, the boys hung out together all the time. We three guys.
Yeah.
And I resented it in the early years because it seems the girls were getting all the attention.
Yeah.
But then as each girl got palmed off to do her own series, that left Mary with just the boys.
Yeah.
So I was delighted at that turn of events.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And did you get on well with Gavin MacLeod and Ted Knight?
Oh, yeah. We were buddies.
Oh, lovely.
Gavin I was closer to.
Yeah.
But Ted, I hadn't met Will Ferrell at the time. So Ted was the funniest man I had ever come across. He was later replaced by Will Ferrell.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair. That is a big accolade for Ted Knight.
Yeah. He was funny.
And how about you? You of course, you worked with a great cast on Lou Grant. And looking back now, what did you think of those guys that you worked with on Lou Grant? Who were you close to when you made Lou Grant on the cast?
Oh, Alan Williams was our dialogue director. He also played the business editor.
Yes.
Vietnam veteran, and I like to stay close to him and enjoy his protection.
Yes.
And then generally, I mingled with all of them equally.
Yeah.
Jack Bannon, Mason Adams, Daryl Anderson, all of them. I regarded Nancy Marchand as eventually I came to regard her as the best actress in America.
No, yeah, I think that's certainly a well-deserved accolade. I think she was fantastic on the show.
Yeah.
I think Jack Bannon was great on the show.
Yes, he was. His mother was Bea Benaderet. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that she was, but I absolutely know who she is. That's a fascinating connection. I was unaware of that.
And his father was an actor stuntman.
Yeah. And you had that great cast of actors on Lou Grant, but it seems to me that one of the great things you did as the lead was give all of those guys the room to breathe. So, you know, as a viewer, they owned the show, you know, as much as your character did. And I think you had the confidence to do that, to give them that space. But it always seemed to me like there was that Lou Grant was always so very consistent in terms of its quality. Was there ever a point with the show ended sooner than you wished it to, if I remember that correctly? Is that right, Ed?
Yeah. Yeah. Who was the head of CBS at the time?
Oh, that's a good question. And wasn't it around the same time that you were involved with the Screen Actors Guild as well, that the show came to an end?
Yeah. It was my attention in the press paid to El Salvador, Nicaragua, that tended to freeze my Lou Grant activity.
Yeah. But I think one of the things that's very notable about your career is the fact that you've always been very politically engaged, and you haven't shied away from saying what you think and commenting upon current events and being very involved. I think you've used your celebrity in a meaningful way.
Thank you.
And so I think when you put your book together, Son of a Junkman, what was the most difficult thing to remember and get straight when you work with your co-writers? Was it a challenge to remember everything? Did it come out of a series of conversations with them? How did you actually assemble the book?
Well, the book started by Sam Joseph wanting to do my biography.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'll be the victim. And he has an enormous number of questions that he asks to produce the results. I went through the questions with him and saw the results, and I didn't really like the fact that there was no narrative to the piece. At the same time, I had a friend who had nothing to do, and he offered to write a narrative of the biography. So I said, fine, go ahead. And I fought to get him a share of credit on the biography. So he wrote his narrative. I fought for his credit. And what he didn't cover, I then resorted to the questions that Sam had prepared. And we finished off the biography with those questions. So it's half narrative, half questions.
That's very interesting. That's a unique approach, I think, which you don't see very often. And so was the guy who was coming up with the narrative, was that Matthew Seymour?
Seymour, yes.
Yeah, got it. And so was that an enjoyable process between those two things, coming up with the narrative, but being asked all those questions by Sam? Did that open the floodgates of your memory, being asked all those questions?
Did you find that it'll ring the bells on the chapel, but
yeah.
I got through it, and I was just relieved to get through it.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Hey, Ed, I was just thinking, actually, when you were saying that, another film of yours that you were in that I had a great fondness for was Fort Apache, the Bronx.
Yeah.
Can you remember anything about filming that movie or how it was working with those guys?
I remember going out and get drunk every night with the two detectives who were the tech advisors.
Oh, brilliant. And what were they like?
They were great boys. But towards the end of the movie, I began to have a dislike of the ending that they had fashioned for the movie.
Yes.
And I came forward with a different idea, which I presented to the producers.
Yeah.
But they didn't buy it.
Yeah, okay, that's a pity. So, can you remember what that alternative ending was?
Yeah, I said I had my meeting with Paul Newman.
Yeah.
And in that meeting, I have him say, okay, I'm going to take my badge back, but I'm going to be watching you every minute of the day. And if you foul up like you did in reality, so that you caused a race riot,
yeah,
I'm going to do everything I can to bring you down. They didn't want it. And
you know what? I think that's a pity, Ed, because I'm with you. I think one of the weaknesses of Fort Apache is that ending, where he chases the purse snatcher, is just very light and is too much of a shift in tone, whereas your ending is much more in keeping with the spirit of the movie.
Yeah, I'm sorry it didn't happen. I have never been that aggressive.
Well, but at the same time, you stepped forward and told them what you thought. Whereas I think one of the things that your performances carry is a sense of emotional and intellectual engagement. I think you come across on screen as actually believing what you're saying rather than you're just saying the words. And I think that mindset that you have, and what's great about the story that you just told me, is that you were actually prepared to make that move. You didn't just take the paycheck. You actually sat down and said, I think this would be a better idea. And I think that doesn't surprise me, having watched many of your performances, because I think that spirit within you is what gives you your authenticity. And I'm saying that as somebody who doesn't know you, somebody just watches you on screen.
Even the cops didn't realize that they were victims of that ending.
No, that's right. That is absolutely right. That is very interesting. So, can you remember anything? I tell you what, I thought you were great in, actually, Ed, was when you played Guy Bannister in JFK.
Yeah, that was a well-defined character.
So, what was it like working with Oliver Stone on that movie?
Well, if I could get something implanted in his mind just before shooting, then I could get away with it. If I allowed him too much time to think about the change I suggested, then he would reverse himself.
Now, that's interesting. And before you shot JFK, how much did you know about Bannister yourself?
Nothing.
So were you just working with everything that was on the page?
There isn't a great deal of history to Bannister. It was like 2 pages of material that I found on the FBI. So it was all supposition.
Yes. Yeah. Now, he was... and did you like Oliver Stone? Was he somebody that you warmed to?
Well, I thought he made a good picture.
Yeah.
He's made several good pictures.
Yeah, for sure. I actually, that makes me think, Ed, of all the movie directors you've worked with over the years, who are the ones that you've had the most respect for?
It's funny. I've never been asked that question. On Lou Grant,
yeah,
it was Roger Young.
Yeah.
He knew how to make it live and brought it to life. In terms of films, though I had complaints about him, I would say Sidney Lumet probably was more revelatory than anybody else.
Interesting.
There was another one, I can't remember his name.
And what was it that you liked about Lumet?
In the scene that he directed with the kids in, what the hell was the name of it? I can't remember now. That involved the mother and father.
It was Daniel, wasn't it? It was Daniel, right?
Daniel.
Yeah.
I had a scene in there where I, as the lawyer, tried to prevail on the grandmother to shape up and take care of the kids.
Yeah.
And when I did the scene, I used a lot of Sturm und Drang.
Yes.
to intimidate her. Then Lumet came forward, and it's really the one time he made an appearance that counted. And he said, rather than do that, do the reverse, to almost whisper the directions to her as to what she should do. So I did that, and I intensively whispered my commands to her, and that's the take he printed.
Ah, that's very interesting. Very interesting. And that came directly from him, his suggestion to you. So that was straight from Lumet to you, to the screen.
Yeah.
Ed, do you remember anything about appearing in the movie Skin Game with James Garner and Lou Gossett?
I loved it. I love that movie.
I loved it too. That's one of my favorites.
It was not a big box office winner, and the reason was it was beautifully acted. Susan Clark and James and Louis, they were all wonderful, and I was pretty good too.
Yeah, I agree.
But and the idea is wonderfully fascinating. Supposedly, I guess there was a reformist element working in Hollywood at the time, so that made people shy away from the box office, thinking it was a sex movie.
Right. I think it's a very evocative film. It succeeds on many levels. Yeah. It's funny, but it's meaningful. I think you're absolutely right. Yourself and your cast members are in great form in that movie. And I once read, is this right, that Paul Bogart, the director, got sick while he was making that film? Yeah. And I think, was it Gordon Douglas had to finish it off for him? Yeah.
And I made certain advances with Douglas directing.
Yeah.
And I found certain weaknesses in Paul Bogart. So I benefited from both.
Oh, that is very interesting. And did you get on well with James Garner?
Very well. He's a good man.
He's one of those guys that whenever I've asked people about him over the years, they only have good things to say about him.
Yeah. Well, there is a story that's told about him that there was when he was doing a detective series, I forget which one.
Rockford Files or something like that,
yeah,
I guess.
I think so. And the producer of an opposing show came to the guard at the gate and complained that Garner had poked him for stealing ideas from Rockford Files. Yeah. And so he called Garner in to question him about whether that was true, that he had poked this producer. And he said, no, I didn't poke him then. I poked him when he said this, and then he poked him.
That is brilliant. Hey, talking about TV detectives makes me think, correct me if I'm wrong, Ed, but I think you're in the movie version of Peter Gunn.
Yeah.
So Blake Edwards made that film Gunn. Didn't you play the police lieutenant in it?
Yeah, Jacoby or whatever his name was.
Yeah, Jacoby. That's exactly right. So I've always thought that movie was actually much darker than the TV show was. What was it like What was it like working with Blake Edwards on that? And why do you think he went darker than the show?
Well, I think he likes the touch of reality.
Yeah. I think Gunn is an underrated movie, actually. And I'd be interested to hear what you thought of Blake Edwards.
He was a lovely man. He loved actors. He loved playing with ideas. He did not make problems.
That's interesting. Well, Ed, thank you so much for sharing these memories with me. And thanks for writing Son of a Junkman, which I'm really looking forward to reading.
You haven't read it yet, you bum.
Oh, yeah. They haven't sent it to me yet. Yeah, no.
You get it. Read it, damn it.
Yeah, I will do.
All right.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Ed, thank you, mate. Thank you for everything. Thanks for all the entertainment. You know, it's a pleasure to speak to you.
Well, it'll be a pleasure to read you.
Yeah, thank you.
You ask good questions.
That is very kind of you, mate. And I'm glad I managed to ask you a question you hadn't been asked before. That's always a pleasure.
Yeah. All right.
All right, mate. Keep up the great work. Thanks again, and thanks for finding time to chat with me. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you. You're a marvel.
Take care, mate. All the very best.
All right, Andrew. Bye-bye and thanks.
Take care, Ed. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Hard Agree. This episode was edited by John Horsley and Kenrick Regan, and our theme music, Golden, was written and performed for this show by Liverpool's finest band, Denio. Hard Agree is a production of the Spoilerverse and myself, Andrew Sumner.